very much. Look, I'm not going to go in too much detail about RPL within FET at the moment, because we've all heard examples, particularly Kieran this morning, of the excellent practice that's out there. I think I'm going to just hit on two particular things that are happening within FET that are important in terms of the long-term strategy, and also in terms of the importance where RPL can fit into that. Because I think what really strikes me is that RPL cuts right across the levels, from the active inclusion piece, levels 1 to 3, right up to the skills piece. In terms of programs that are run under FET, for example, apprenticeships, I mean, RPL is absolutely essential to a program like apprenticeships, and also the new traineeships, because in a sense, if you look at the structure, you know, the RPL piece is there. It's there from the start, and it's there right through the actual apprenticeship. So I think in many respects FET has part of the success, and part of the reason why it has grown is because it does take the issues like RPL as being important, and as being actually part of the fabric of what FET does. So as I said, we've had excellent practice right across the ETB sector. We often say in Solus that FET it's a bit like the GAA in the sense that it's in every single, not just every single county, but every single town and village has some FET within it, because if you look at the maps of ETBs and actually go into each ETB and look at the sub-maps where it shows the training centres, it shows the PLC colleges, it shows the community education, it shows the literacy services, they're right across and embedded in each of the counties, down even at that level. So I think it's important to recognise that FET is something that it goes from level 1 right to level 6. But in terms of the future, David briefly mentioned the strategic performance agreements which Solus has signed with the 16 ETBs, and their importance is this: it's that we have, as Solus, have a list of targets that each ETB will fulfil over the next 3 years. And a lot of those targets are based upon active inclusion, apprenticeships, the different programs. And again, within all those programs there's RPL. In fact, actually, having gone through each of the strategic performance agreements, in each of them there is reference there to RPL. So again, at the top level at ETBs, it's something that they too take seriously, and they recognise as something that's important to the future of FET. But we're at the end of the current FET strategy, and we've begun the process of putting together the new further education strategy, and that will run from 2020 to 2024. And within that strategy, there are 3 components I think that are relevant to the whole RPL agenda. One is obviously skills development. Secondly, the whole concept of learner pathways, and thirdly, lifelong learning and upskilling for the workforce. I think that's a really important piece, because when the current FET strategy was written, it was written at a very different time. It was written at a time where we had almost 15% unemployment, and government policy was very much focused on the skills agenda and focused on labour market activation for people who were out of the workforce. We're at a situation now whereby we're looking at an unemployment rate of around 4%. And I think the focus, while it hasn't shifted away from getting people upskilled and into the workforce, there's now a new focus on upskilling people within the workforce. And I think that's where RPL is really, really important. A project I worked on when I was in part of the Higher Education Authority was called Springboard. And one of the huge benefits of Springboard and momentum on the FET side was the fact that for the first time in many respects, higher education and further education providers took the concept of RPL and actually really embedded it within the Springboard programs that were ran. So for example, those courses that were provided, I'll be 30 seconds, those courses that were provided for unemployed construction workers, a lot of them were designed in recognition that a lot of the construction workers who had lost their jobs didn't have the certificates, didn't have a degree or in some cases didn't have a leaving cert. But what they did have was huge decades of experience that could be used. So, and I think the higher education system, as well as FET, was open to actually saying, well look, let's take that skill and actually retrain these people because they are ready for work. And I think it's one of the most successful activation programs in Europe. And in fact, actually the OECD has looked at it and the European Commission has looked at it as an example of best practice. So there's something where RPL has been a huge and had a significant impact. But what I'll finish with saying is that we have an open call for submissions in terms of the new FET strategy. If you go onto the SULIS website, we have an open call, and you can make a submission. It's either through a Word document or through it being online by the end of the month. So please feel free to contact me myself or any of the team in SULIS, and we would gladly welcome a submission from people who are actually actively RPL practitioners. Thank you.